they should be nice and firm like this. You can see they're not mushy, they're nice and firm. And again, you can also, find base scallops. There's a little tiny ones. Those are mostly used for like salads or a pasta dish, but these can be used as surf and turf with a steak. You can grill them. They want to pan sear the scallops, and you can use them in salads. They want to make a nice, very light quinoa salad with an avocado vinaigrette I'm gonna do. So before I start cooking the scallops and show how to prep the scallops, I want to do the vinaigrette because once they cook, you want to serve them right away. You don't want to lay them around because they're gonna be overcooked. So you want to have everything ready that you're gonna serve with your scallops before you start cooking the scallops. So I'm gonna put this to the side right now, and I'm gonna do a wonderful avocado vinaigrette for you guys. Very simple. I'm gonna start with some white vinegar. You can also use like white balsamic vinegar or even apple cider vinegar as well. So I'm gonna put some of my vinegar here. I'm gonna put my seasons, some salt, or white pepper. So we're making an emulsion here. I think I showed you guys before how to do that, but again, you can do this. Put some cilantro here. This is going to be a temporary emulsion, and the key is to add the oil very slow when you add making an emulsion. You can do it by hand, but since we add in some other ingredients, I'm going to use a immersion food processor here, a little blender. Then it's going to make it easy for me to make the vinaigrette. So it should be good enough. I'm also going to add some lime juice here, acid. Okay, about a half a lime. If they're really tiny, you can use the whole thing, but if they're really big like this one and nice and juicy, a half one should be good. Okay. I'm going to add my avocado here. So once you do this, you can make any vinaigrette at home. You don't have to buy anything, to be honest with you. It's so easy to do, I'm sure you probably tried to make your own mayonnaise at home as well. Okay. Feel free to ask questions along the way. How was your holidays, by the way? You guys do a lot of cooking? Anybody? Put this to the side here. Okay, so we got my avocado in there. Okay, now I'm gonna start.
Good morning, Chef.
Good morning. How are you? How were your holidays? You guys did any cooking at home with the family?
Oh, of course.
Yeah? That's good. So I'm gonna start by chopping the avocado, cilantro. If you guys have a food processor, it works really good too. I just wanted to use my little stick blender here. I'm gonna start adding my. I'm using avocado oil. You can use olive oil or like when I make vinaigrettes, I want to use a lighter oil. Olive oil is sometimes too strong, so if you want to use that, make sure you use a lighter one, or even vegetable oil or corn oil works best because you don't want to kind of overpower your dressing with flavor from the oil. So avocado oil is really light and it's really nice to make a vinaigrette like this one here. So we're gonna start adding the oil very slow. If it gets a little bit too thick like this one, you can add a little water. I'm going to show you real quick here, just cold water. And a little more liquid here. As you can see, it goes really quick. If you're using the machine, it goes really fast. Okay. This should be done now, nice thickness. Okay, now I'm gonna get this out of the way here. Okay, so you can see this. Okay, my vinaigrette there. Now we're gonna start by cooking our scallops. Get to the main thing here. And when cooking scallops, like I say, I'm gonna show you how they're pretty much clean, but there's a little muscle on the side. You want to remove this. Otherwise, when you cook them, it gets really tough. So you want to take this off, okay? And just throw it away. You don't want to use that. And some don't have it, but most of them do, okay? So you want to take it off. It's right here. You can see it right away. And this is where it was attached to the shell. Okay, so you take that off. We want to rinse them really nice with some cold water too. Make sure they're nice and clean. You can always find scallops that are frozen as well, but fresh they're always the best. Okay, they're a little more expensive, but it's worth it. Okay, so now that we have them nice and clean, you want to dry them up really good before you start cooking them. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm gonna get my pan going here. Okay, I want to get it nice and hot, and be careful when you're cooking pans here on any product. You don't want to put too much. You don't want to overcrowd the pan, otherwise the temperature of the pan is going to drop and you're going to be boiling the product instead of searing it. So be careful when you do that. Okay, so it should be nice and dry on both sides. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to just season them with some fresh black pepper and some sea salt. And it's going to be the browning that it gives a lot of flavor. I'm going to talk about that once I get going. So I'm sure you guys remember from reading your and cooking methods, Maillard reaction. It's when we brown proteins or any other product. So I'm using some clarified butter for this, along with some oil too. If you can, you don't want to use whole butter because whole butter burns really quick, and it doesn't have a high smoking point. So I'm gonna add a little avocado oil too to my pan. Okay, this is gonna help to get the temperature higher in the pan. Otherwise, even clarified butter, is gonna start to burn. That's the reason we use both. I use both, but you can use just butter or clarified butter. But be careful not to brown too much. And this is now when the pan starts to smoke here, we want to add our scallops. As you can see there. Okay. And you don't want to put them too close together. You want to keep it a little separate. That way, like I say, you don't want to drop the temperature of the pan. And it's going to smoke a little bit here. And this is there's a chemical reaction taking place right in front of our eyes. The amino acids and the sugars are reacting. And this was discovered by a French chemist in 1912. The product browns. There's a chemical reaction that gives actually flavors to the product, and every food has this very distinctive flavor. And this is where all the flavor comes from. To be honest with you, we use sauces and stuff to enhance the flavor, but The Maillard reaction is what gives the food and breads and all the other products proteins, nice flavor when it's searing like this. And like I say, it starts between the temperature 184 degrees to 329. Depending on the type of product that you're using. Some like breads, they don't have they're baked, and some products don't have a lot of moisture, so they start to brown much lower temperatures. But this is the range where this takes place, and this is why we always brown food before we finish cooking it, because it's where all the flavor comes from. And like I say, if you grill this, you're going to get a different flavor because you're using a different cooking method, but at the same time you might not using fat, so you're going to get a different flavor even though you're using the same product, scallops in this case. And even with meat, like with steaks, if you pan sear a steak, you're going to get a different flavor profile than if you were grilling it in the grill bar. So again, you want to get it nice and brown like this. And you're going to know when that's time to flip them over. They're going to come up really by itself when you move them around. So in the meantime, I'm going to start fixing my my salad here, my quinoa salad I made. I'm going to put a little red peppers here just to add some more color. And quinoa is one of those ancient grains that have become very popular in the last few years. It has a lot of health benefits, and if you do some research about it, you're going to find out that it's very healthy, and it's really making a comeback. This has been around for thousands of years, but somehow we never really pay attention to these grains. There's other grains too out there that you're going to find out. Just do some research, and you're going to find out that you can do many different things. In this case, I'm using it as a salad coal. You can also use it as a side or like in a soup. It's really, really good. It's really easy to cook too. Okay, so now we have a scallop on here. You can see that, okay? I know it smokes a lot when you do this in a... Okay. Oops, that one kind of stuck. Also going to add a little green onions there for a little crunch. Okay, we have a question here for one of our students. Okay, the temperature of the pan. So you want to have it a nice high, because you want to keep the pan really hot. And also you're going to, once you start, you see some smoke coming up when you first put the oil in the butter. That's when you want to put the product in there. And you want to keep the pan on high. That way, you're searing the product instead of boiling. Because if you don't, you're going to see a lot of liquid coming out from the product. If you don't keep the temperature high, the product is going to start to steam and boil instead of searing. Okay, so I'm going to add a little green onion to my quinoa here. I got some greens here. And you can do whatever you want with your scallops. I mean, this is just an idea. I mean, you can use them as a main dish, as an entree, maybe with a nice lobster sauce or something lighter with like a little vinaigrette or just broth. I mean, there's so many different things you can do. But again, I'm just kind of giving you an idea. As you can see, this they're brown really nice. Okay, now I'm going to shut it off because these are done. Okay, so I'm going to finish off my salad over here. Chip a little cilantro. And you want to add a lot of color to your dishes. This is where, for presentation purposes. Okay, now you can see the scallops are pretty much done. They're going to be nice and firm. If you cut them open, they're going to be nice and translucent in the center. That's how they should be. This one kind of got stuck here. So I'm going to just cut it open for you guys. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on the camera, but it's one of those things that, you're going to see that's nice in the middle. It's nice and translucent, so you can see that. And that's what you want. You don't want to overcook them. Otherwise, it becomes kind of rubbery and dry, just like a steak would. And especially since seafood is more delicate, as I mentioned before, you want to really be careful when you're cooking seafood. And like I said, you want to have everything pretty much ready before you cook scallops, because you want to pretty much plate them right away, okay? So I'm going to put this piece over here. So I want to kind of start plating my salad. And I'm going to put some of this vinaigrette in my little, oops, excuse me, my little squirt bottle here. Okay. You see the consistency of these. That way I can put some of this dressing on the salad really easy. You can see it's kind of nice and runny. Okay. Okay. There you go. Now I'm gonna bring my little bowl here. I'm gonna plate my salad. And again, this is just an idea. You can do your scallops any way you want. You can use them as, you know, as a surf and turf with a piece of steak, or just by themselves with some rice, or whatever you like. So there's so many different things you can make. The main thing is to, you know, learn how to properly cook scallops. Those of you who can grill outside right now with this nice and warm, you know, they're great, you know, grill too. As I mentioned before, it's going to give you a different flavor profile grilling the scallops compared to, you know, pans here. And you're going to see that, you know, it's nice to understand, you know, the effect of heat and food, you know, has. And this is really what we're trying to, you know, get the point across here. It's not so much, you know, recipes, but to understand, you know, when to, like, for example, grill a piece of protein or sear. What's the best cooking method to use? Okay. Nice skin over here. Put a little vinaigrette in the bottom here. Any other questions out there, you guys? I got some nice greens over here that I'm going to put in my salad. There. Any questions either? Yes, we have somebody who has a question here. Okay, the question was, why don't I deglaze the pan and make a sauce? I could. If I wanted to make a hot sauce, and if I was doing like a different, for example, wine, garlic sauce, I could deglaze the pan. I would take them off and deglaze the pan. But in this case, since I'm doing the salad, I don't have the, you know, the reason to do that. But you can do that too if you want to, you know, deglaze the pan with some white wine and maybe some little chicken or fish stock and make a little cream sauce in the pan. You are able, you can do that too. So it's really up to you. Got some radishes here for some color too. Anybody else has another question out there for me? I love when you guys ask questions. It's great. Okay. Take this out of here. As you can see that, my little, I'm going to put one of my scallops around the top here. Then put some of this around my dish over here. As you can see, if you let them sit out for a little while, you're going to see a lot of liquid coming out from the scallops. This is like when you let them sit for a while, they start to like kind of relax like steak, and the liquid's going to come out. It doesn't really stay inside like it does for a piece of meat, but it comes out. You're going to see like a little white liquid in the pan. If you put it on the plate, it's going to see even more, so just remember that. I'm putting some of this greens here. Also want to chop a little tomato to put in there.
How many scallops per serving for the appetizer or for the entree?
Okay, depends the size of the scallop. These are U10s or the big ones, so I would do like probably 4 for an entree and like probably 3 for the salad. And it really depends, if you're like at home or in a restaurant, how much you're gonna charge for, how much money you can get for that. So you need to really think about that too. You don't want to put too many a big portion if you're not charging enough, because these are very expensive too. Tomato here too.
Thank you.
Want to put a little oil here too. And there you go. A nice dish with scallops. Very easy to make, right? You guys can do this anytime. So again, I want to thank you for being here this morning with me. And I want to, if you guys don't have any other questions, I want to wrap it up. And I welcome you to join me next week, or the following week, I should say. Next week, Chef Susie's turn. But again, I want to thank you for being here this morning. I hope you guys can try this at home very soon. As you can see, it's very simple to do seared scallops in the pan.